Week 7 of the NFL is here, and we have a full slate of big pick energy for you. James has a crazy pick for his underdog this week. I can't wait for y'all to hear that. But before we go any further, y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe to Big Game Energy here on YouTube. Get us on Instagram. Get us on TikTok. James, I want to start off with you this week. Let's hear your favorite for Week 7.
Oh, damn. Okay. Hey, man. Of course, hey, I'm glad you like to start off with me, the leader in the big pick energy by a game. Hey,
by one game.
Guess what? Hey, guess what? Hey, that's what they say. A win's a win. Hey, the Eagles won the Super Bowl just one game at a time. Hey, it happens. But hey, no, back to reality. Hey, so my pick, I got to go with this team. They lost last week, so I like the trends. Give me the Lions minus 5.5 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Only because why? It seems like not one, not two, not three, not four, maybe 5 important players are not going to be playing for the Bucs this week. Heck, Spence, you might as well not even play this week, man. They may need you. Giselle, they might need you to play receiver, it seems like, for Tampa and Baker. But no, in all reality, hey, yeah, I know, right? Let me put on a jersey real quick. Let me catch a tutty like Tez Johnson did. He thought he was getting MVP chance. Come on, big dog. No, in all honesty, this is just a trend for the Lions. Dan Campbell, Jared Goff, coming after a loss. Their record is 20-8 against the spread. So we like that so far. So far, they're 3-0 against the spread as a favorite. And of course, Jared Goff is 19-3 straight up as a favorite in night games, including 9-0 straight up with the Lions. So that's the only reason why I'm going there. I think Baker and what they're doing right now in Tampa is a lovely story. I know we all agree they're going to compete. Right now, they're just decimated on, the injury side of things. And I think finally, hey, okay, we're tired of doing this whole, we're just going to win these games by a thread and, hey, we're going to get there. But, hey, I think the Lions beat them 27-20. Let's get the win.
Okay, now, Giselle, you directly are opposing this one this week because the Buccaneers are your underdog.
Yes.
So, Giselle, tell us about your pick there.
I believe in Baker Mayfield, first and foremost. At first glance, yes, it looks like, the Buccaneers are obviously without Mike Evans. They're going to be without Chris Godwin. They're going to be without Emeka Egbuka and Bucky Irving for this game. So the Lions look like they have the upper hand at this point in time. But the Lions, if you paid attention to this Lions-Chiefs game that just went down, you know that they have their own woes as well. So with Detroit, they won't have their strong safety in Brian Branch due to his suspension. And missing a lot of key players for the Lions should help Baker Mayfield in some extent. So I know Mayfield has a lot to prove. We did see the current MVP polling, and they have now placed Mayfield as number 3 and pushing Mahomes as 1 and Josh Allen as number 2. I think I speak for everyone that is an NFL fan that thinks that this is not okay, especially going into week 7 based on what we've seen thus far this NFL season. So give me Tampa Bay, give me Baker Mayfield. They are my underdog pick for this week, and hopefully they get it done.
To favor Giselle's side of things, Spence, Baker is 16-8 against the spread as an underdog. If you did a 6-point teaser, he's 22-2. So definitely added a little 6 more points to that bad boy.
You love your 6-point teasers.
But since joining Tampa, Baker's been the most profitable quarterback against the spread as an underdog. So guess what? We're going to have a fun, exciting game then, it seems like to me.
We sure are.
And here's the deal. I love both of y'all's picks here. I was so torn on this game that I just said, you know what? Screw it. I'm taking the over in this game, the over 52.5 points. Y'all want to know something fun about this game?
Yes.
There are 5 players in this game that have negative odds to score a touchdown in this game. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rachaad White, and returning from injury, Mike Evans.
Look at that. I wouldn't have guessed Mike Evans. I definitely knew the first 3, but after that, I was like, hey, it could be anyone on the Bucs now. Put Tez Johnson on their way.
Touchdowns will be scored in this game. It should be a lot of fun. Hell, you even got Cade Otton at plus 115. Cade Otton getting in the end zone on Sunday. Hey, I don't hate the bet, but what I love more than that is just taking the over in this game. 52.5 is the second largest over on the week. But this is a team in the Lions that, James, you and I say it all the time. They can cover this number by themselves. You throw in the craziness of Baker Mayfield. This has all the makings of a very, very memorable Monday Night Football game. I cannot wait for this game.
Me too.
All right, Jiselle, let's go to your favorite for the week. Who you got in week 7 as your favorite?
Okay. Week 7, my current favorite has to be very surprising, but the New England Patriots. I don't know about you guys, but I've really liked how much they've transformed this season alone. They've shown a lot of hope. And I think that's what the New England franchise needs because ever since Tom Brady left, everything went into a dud. So I feel like there's a big revitalization going on there. Mike Vrabel couldn't have asked for better circumstances because he gets a potential revenge win in his former employer's home. So that in itself is exciting. I'm really excited to see that. And we have NFL quarterback Drake May. I think he does really well in defense as a quarterback, and he's very young, so that's really cool to see. I just don't think that Tennessee, obviously based on everything that we've seen, I just don't think they have what it takes to beat a better team such as the New England Patriots. And
Yes.
for me, I think the Patriots should and can win by at least a double-digit margin.
So, Jiselle, you were talking about the MVP earlier, right? And you
Mhm.
talked about how Baker was third.
Yep.
Mahomes, Allen, Mayfield. Hey, Drake May, right
He's a
there
long
at
shot.
he's right there at 4.
Yep.
He's got the 4th best odds. He
That is
has much
insane.
longer odds than Mahomes, Allen, and Mayfield. It does seem to be a 3-horse race right
Mhm.
now. But make no
He's
mistake,
there.
Drake May is balling out. He is absolutely going crazy. I love the pick here, Jiselle. I think a lot of people are going to bet the Titans in this game because they think they're going to get the interim head coach bump here, but their interim head coach is Mike McCoy,
Yep.
the most bland, vanilla, boring head coach in NFL history. The fun fact about him, and it's the only thing that's interesting about him, was he was the final head coach for the San Diego Chargers.
Yes, let me piggyback off of you because I'm glad you mentioned that point. I almost forgot to leave that out. This is a coin term when talking about the Tennessee Titans at this point in time. It's the den of dysfunction. And not only have the Titans fired head coach Brian Callahan, but his father, Bill, who was also the Titans offensive line coach, left as well. So those are two major hits, a family affair that has left the Titans franchise that's already struggling enough as it is. Cam Ward could only do so much. Poor guy, first pick in the draft. Rookie quarterback, doesn't really have a lot of experience to fall back on, but the veteran maybe backup, he doesn't really have any of that. So they just put everything in his hands and he's doing his best.
I would have been
That's
so
all you really
pissed off
can
if
do.
I would have been so pissed off if my dad kept working for the team that fired me after I got
Yeah.
him the job there. I would be like, Dad, what the hell? He's
Yeah,
like,
what's
sorry, dude, they're
happening here, man?
paying me. What can
No.
I do? It was
Champ.
your fault, dude. You're gone. We're gonna be better now.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. I stayed away from this game because Spence he brought it up. I'm always a sucker for the interim head coach vibes
Mike
covering a spread.
McCoy, bro.
But I'll say this though. I'll say this. One trend that doesn't go in the Patriots' favor: teams that are playing a third straight road game after going 2-0 in the first 2 road games, 16, 24-2 against the spread. So in the last 20 years. So it's not a big sample size. Well, 20 years is a pretty big sample size, but yeah, so we'll see. But I'm also siding with the Patriots. I can't believe the new AFC East division leader.
Let me just put this into perspective. I feel like we just got transported back in time and we're watching the NFL in 2007. That's how it feels.
Yeah, the Colts and the Patriots are up and coming teams
And the
right
Chargers
now.
and Steelers.
Yes.
That's right. That is right. Well, guys, my favorite for the week, I am going to the Monday night slate, but I'm not going to the fun Monday night game. I'm going to the boring Monday night game, and I'm going to take a page out of a book that me and James do a lot, and I'm going to buy the victory this week. I am taking the Seahawks to cover 3.5 points against my and Giselle's Houston Texans. And look, here's the deal. I know coming off a bye week, things in Texans land should be better. We should have a run game. We should do something more creative on offense. You know the defense is going to show up, and they're off to an absolutely historic start, one that rivals the 85 Bears in terms of points allowed through the first 6 weeks. They are on a better pace than the 85 Bears. So you know this defense is elite. However, I have watched this defense in now the 3rd year under DeMeco Ryans, and there have only been 2 quarterbacks I have seen that really give this defense fits. The first one is Lamar Jackson, and we all know about him. He owns the Texans franchise. Texans got the dub against the Ravens when he was not healthy.
Right.
The other one, and people don't really think about it that much, was Sam Darnold last year in Minnesota. Put an absolute beat down on this Texans defense, and I have not seen them get beat down like that outside of the Ravens. And Sam Darnold is now quarterbacking for the Seahawks on Monday Night Football in Seattle. They're coming off of a monstrous win against the Jags, and the way that Jackson Smith-Njigba is playing right now, I don't know that there's a better wide receiver in football than him. Derek Stingley Jr. is going to have his hands full. This just has the makings of a game that the Texans are not going to win. If they do pull this one out, hey, I'll happily take this L, and we'll be talking some crazy stuff next week with the Texans somehow being 3-3 after all the BS they went through at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
I'm putting my money on the line with the Seahawks here.
Oh.
I actually do support this pick just because since 2019, Sam Darnold is 14-4 straight up when facing a defense that allows 20 points or less. The Texans as a franchise on prime time, 15-31-2 against the spread. And then, of course, the only downside on your pick, Spence, because your boy Brian Callahan got fired and his home record against the spread was 0-10. Now Mr. McDonald has got the worst record against the spread at home with 3-9. But I am favoring, like you mentioned, the Seahawks on this game as well.
The only thing, the caveat to that is, yes, Sam Darnold gave us a beatdown, but he also had Justin Jefferson to help assist him with that last year.
But that's what I'm saying.
What does he have this season?
He has Jackson Smith-Njigba, Giselle.
Okay.
Who's arguably the best wide receiver in football. That's what I'm saying. This guy is a nightmare, and I have nightmares of this guy. I'm terrified. They don't have much else on offense besides him. I'm not impressed with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet in the backfield, but it hasn't mattered this season because it's just been about Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith-Njigba mixing in a little A.J. Barner at the tight end position. That's really all the Seahawks have needed to do this year to get the job done. And so I think they get the job done here. Now, this is another moment this week that y'all two are opposing each other because staying on this game, Giselle, you have the over 41.5. James, you have the under 41.5. So I'll find myself being the referee once again. Giselle, why you got the over here?
I honestly, first looking at it, gut intuition, I'm like, these teams can go over 41.5 points, both of them. But who am I to say? Who am I to say right now? I'm losing out of the three of us right now. This NFL season has totally kicked my keister, and that's me being super generous with that. But I really do feel that they can cover that. Texans are coming off of a bye week. We have a slew of an arsenal on our offense. So I, fortunately, am putting my faith in them.
Yeah, no, I'm going with the under just because Spence has been riding this under for a while. The Texans are 4-1 to the under, so that's where I'm leading with this. Basically, I see this being kind of like the Seahawks and Jacksonville game was last week, about 20-13, 2016. And, hopefully, that goes in Spence's favor. And of course, I know I'm going against you, but it's okay. This is going to go one or two ways.
Well, I mean, it has to. If the numerical value was set at 43 or 43.5 points, I would not have picked the over. But since it is 41.5,
that's
I
so
had
true.
to take it.
Yeah, I feel the same way if it was 51. Like, that's an under. But 52, 50, oh, that's an over. But that's always an over. But 51, it's that one you see there, you're like, go low.
Yeah, because you're right. Because, even though it was the Ravens defense, you've seen the Texans drop at least 44 points. Can they do that in Seattle? I would hope not for my under pick. Y'all might be happy to be like, Texans dropped 44.
Well, that would mean the Texans offense had turned it around and was playing pretty well, which even in a game, if they were to lose that game in Seattle, if they scored 24 points and the offense looked competent and they lost somehow on the defensive side of things, I oddly would feel better about the team coming out of that than if they win like a 19-15 type of game. I'd be like, well, this Texans defense is elite, but we still can't trust this offense, and we're not going to feel better about their chances to actually turn this thing around. If they show out on offense and Giselle gets her over, I might turn my tune around about my hopes for the Texans to make the playoffs this season. All right, let's go to our underdogs. I'll take this underdog to start.
Awesome.
I am going to one of my favorite offenses in the entire league right now, and they have a surprisingly good defense as well this season. They're really starting to come into their stride. I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to go into San Francisco on Sunday Night Football. They're +2 underdogs, so I'm going to take them at +2.5. Give me the Falcons. Look, Bijan Robinson is arguably the best running back in football.
Man,
Drake London, arguably a top 10 wide receiver in football. You might even have him higher. Kyle Pitts, finally seeming to put it together a little bit this season. He's had his best statistical season since his rookie year. That offensive line is great. Michael Penix has not had to do a whole lot, but he's been doing okay these last few weeks. But that's not been the story of the Atlanta Falcons. The story of the Atlanta Falcons has been on the defensive side of things. A lot of people didn't like what they did in the draft. Gave up a lot of draft capital to go and trade up for these edge rushers. But my God, have they paid dividends for this Atlanta defense. This is a team that now if you're a fantasy football player, you have to keep note of when your players are going against the Atlanta Falcons defense. And that is a shocking thing to think about, because this used to be a team that, I can't wait to fire up my players because they're going up against the Falcons. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be 48-49. And I'm going to score a lot of fantasy points. That is no longer the case. This Atlanta Falcons team in 2025, this defense is impressive. They have all these weapons on offense. And look, I don't know what's going to happen with the 49ers. I don't know if Brock Purdy is going to come back this week. I don't know.
Mac Daddy.
I think it's going to be Mac Jones again. Now, They do get George Kittle back this week, but Juwan Jennings is playing with 5 broken ribs, and I think he's got 5 broken ribs and a ankle injury. He's completely banged up. Ricky Pearsall's still injured. Kendrick Bourne is back in the 49ers uniform, and he's been balling out the past couple weeks, but how long is that going to last? I just think what the 49ers have been riding recently, I think it comes crashing to a halt. If I could bet the Falcons at a higher number, I probably would take an alternate line here, but for y'all, I'll take +2.5.
Yeah, no, it's hard. It's hard to me to not bet the Falcons after that impressive showing they did against the Bills. And what's a lot of people, me and Spence talked about it the other night, is that their defense is number one in the pass with those 2 rookie DNs, the defensive coordinator. Matter of fact, I think somebody said the other day, man, Jeff Ubrick or whatever, they said, hey man, his son can prank call me any day of the week during draft day. If he wants to do that again. They totally forgot about that whole prank calling thing that his son did. But hey, this Falcons defense has been electric. But can we all agree the Falcons need to just switch their logo and be permanently the old school?
Those Monday night uniforms were so sick.
Red helmet, black jersey.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That was icy. All right, James, I teased it at the beginning.
Let's
hear this underdog. What you got this week?
Heck yeah. Man, I've been thinking about this long and hard, man. I looked at this team. I wanted this team. Guess what? Why we do big pick energy is god dang because we're going to pick the biggest games on earth. And what do I mean? Not the obvious underdog. I'm picking the 0-6 Jets +1.5 versus the Carolina Panthers. Why? Oh, James, did you see the Jets have a total of -10 yards passing? Yeah, I did technically in London, but guess what? And now they're going to play in New York. Maybe something may change. Guess what? Bryce Young in Carolina, I'll say it like this. Carolina has not covered a spread as a favorite. In over 4 years. They've been 0-10 in that spread.
Damn.
Technically, since 2020, they're 3-13 against the spread as a favorite. Do you want to guess the 3 quarterbacks they won that against? He was the long neck quarterback on your team.
Talking about Brock Osweiler?
Brock Osweiler?
No, I thought it was David Mills. Not Davis Mills.
No, we don't hate Davis Mills anymore.
Nah.
Okay, damn, that really.
Like, I get why you think that. I did used to hate on Davis Mills, but that was before I got CJ Stroud. Now Davis Mills ain't so bad. But when I had to watch Davis Mills every single week, that wasn't fun. I didn't like that guy then. But now as a backup, love him as a backup.
Correct.
Sorry, James.
But the other 2 quarterbacks, Zach Wilson and Dwayne Haskins. So RIP homie. Carolina's last cover as a favorite was in September of 2021 at Houston, and that was with Sam Darnold. So I don't see Sam Darnold here now. But I will say this: teams that are 0-6 straight up and are a favorite, 11-4 against the spread. Look, I'm not going to fire Aaron Glenn after one abysmal offensive performance against the Broncos. You mentioned it. The Broncos got a great defense. They got the leader, the DN for Defensive Player of the Year. It's going to happen. It's the Broncos. Heck, they beat the Eagles. Heck, it's not a big deal. They can beat anyone. But guess what? Carolina as a favorite. As much as I love my guy Bryce Young, he is 1-15 straight up. It is 16 career road games. So guess what? Give me the Jets, man, plus 1.5. No one's betting the Jets because guess what? I'm fading the public right here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good deal.
I'm betting this game as well, but I am betting the under here, James, for a lot of the reasons you said. But also, I want to give a shout out to Barry Sanders, aka Rico Dowdle, who has come on and has been the second coming of Barry Sanders these past 2 weeks. Over 500 scrimmage yards over these past 2 weeks when you add his rushing and receiving yards. He's been absolutely insane. I don't care if Chuba Hubbard is healthy. This guy needs to be your bell cow after what he has done. Now, that being said, I think it's an under because the Carolina Panthers feel like they probably have found something with Rico Dowdle. They love Chuba Hubbard. They made that apparent when they paid him in the offseason. So they're going to try to run the ball, establish the run on the Panthers side of things. And I think they try to grind the clock down and they try to win ugly. The Jets, the other side, they're easy to bet on an under because it's Justin Fields. And this week, when asked about benching Justin Fields, Aaron Glenn acted like the reporter was being offensive for having the audacity to question why a guy who cannot have a positive net yardage in the passing game would be suitable to start another game for this team. Look, I'm a big Justin Fields guy. I love him for his fantasy purposes, and I want to believe in him because he's a lot of fun, but the dude stinks. He stinks. This is a perfect game to bet the under on. Like I said, I want to believe in Justin Fields. One thing I'll say works against you in my eyes, Garrett Wilson not going to play in this game. I don't know what they're going to do at wide receiver. We're going to have Alan Lazard and then a bunch of Jags out there from playing receiver for the Jets. Mason Taylor, the tight end, should have a big game. I think that could be interesting. But they're another team that's going to try to run the ball with Breece Hall. And two teams that want to run the ball. I think this is two bad teams. Give me an under in this game.
Give me an under. I like it too.
Nice.
All righty. So we got two more games to get to here. Two more picks. James, what is your over for week 7?
Oh, man. I wanted to bet my favorite team to win this game. They're desperate. They're due. But there is one thing I can't look past, and that is the two-headed monster on the Eagles secondary. Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson. It is time to get eaten up by Jay Jetta and Jordan Addison. And guess what? Former Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl champion Carson Wentz is playing against my team. He gets his revenge factor. I know he's been waiting for this. He circled this game. He's been rooting for JJ's downfall, and this is it. He is circling. This game could easily be the game that keeps him the starter for the rest of the season. You know why? Because he's got two scarecrows out there playing cornerback for the Eagles, and he's going to eat up. You mentioned the guys on the Jets were Jags. I can't even tell you who played for the Giants last week, and they carved up Philly like it was a Thanksgiving turkey, quail hunting, eagle hunting. I know that's illegal, but you know what I mean. But in all honesty, no, so I'll say like I do think Jay Jetta and Jordan Addison will get on a tear. I think the run game for Minnesota won't be as effective. Jalen Carter said he's going to be playing this week, so I think it's going to be more of a pass game. We've been struggling more on the coverage side of things, even with our rookie Andrew Mabuka or whatever. I can't even say his last name right. Please,
Kevin O'Connell loves to air it out too.
Please, Howie, we got to bring back CJ Gardner-Johnson. Just do it for the vibes. But in all honesty, I just think Philly will score more than 17 points. They've averaged 17.5 points the last 2 games versus a Giants defense who's got a very impressive defensive line, and the Broncos, who you can call them top 3 defense in the NFL. The Eagles need to get back on board offensively. Of course, one of the key factors is Saquon's not getting a lot of touches. The Eagles offensive line is not producing at the rate that we know this Eagles offense can do on the offensive side of things. But I gotta trust that Jalen and them will get their act together, score more than 17, but they're gonna allow Minnesota to stay in this game, and it's in U.S. Bank Stadium. So give me all the skull, and a lot of points this week. I just hope my team wins, but I want a lot of points over 43.5.
Yeah, I like it. I think
Nice.
Saquon's going to get going this week. I think he's been slow to start this season.
Mm-hmm.
I think he gets going. I think he has a big game. I would love to see the odds of Saquon 2+ touchdowns in the game. I would love to see what those odds are because I feel like he's going off this weekend. And I think Eagles get back in the win column, James.
Let's get back on the win column because we need to, beat our arch nemesis next week, the New York Giants again.
Yeah. But the vibes are off right now in Philly. The vibes are bad. Get a win. Winning cures all in the NFL.
Kid you not, Spence. Remember this time last year, we did say the same thing. Vibes are bad. And I told you, I thought, man, if the Eagles lose to the Browns, Nick Sirianni is going to get fired. And they almost did lose that game.
Damn near came close to getting
near getting fired. And guess what? Somehow we end up winning the Super Bowl. So, hey, let's get back to that.
All right, Jiselle, bring us home. Last pick. Who is your under for week 7?
My under for week 7 is going to be the Washington Commanders and Dallas Cowboys game. The under for that is 54.5 points. I can definitely attest for both teams hitting 24 points each. That leaves it at 48. Okay.
Yeah.
And then maybe there could be a margin of error there. So I've accepted that, but a little bit of a risky biscuit of a pick, but I'm going with this under 54.5 points with the Cowboys and Commanders.
This feels inspired by 2 things, Jiselle. And correct me if I'm wrong. 1, that's a big number. 54.5.
That's a big
probability states we get that under. But number 2, and this is what I think the bigger reason is, that's a star hater right there. That's a star hater right there.
Hey,
James has got a tear in his eye.
Yeah, hey, man. That day. Thank you, Jiselle. Hey, I'm not going to lie. I like this pick just because I just read this just a second ago. It says this is the highest total between these two teams since 1980.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were even betting back in those days. I mean, golly, it's 2025 now. That was a long time ago. But, I mean, look at last Monday night. We had we had over-unders 50.5 and 49.5 for 2 games that were, 2 teams that were electric. We both hit the under. We sweated out our under, Jiselle. But I'm with you. I mean, this is all because of what everyone's been doing to the Dallas Cowboys, pulling their pants down and spanking these boys on the defensive side. And, of course, Spence loves Dak Prescott. And matter of fact, you mentioned freaking JSN. Spence, we might have to put George Pickens as a crazy top 3 receiver right now.
My God. Love him on my fantasy.
Well,
when it comes to wonders.
When it comes to being an unhinged person on the field, George Pickens is the one overall. Ain't no one as unhinged and crazy as George Pickens. He's my favorite player to watch in the NFL right now. He is so much fun. Just jumping at dudes,
lapping,
carrying the ball like it's a freaking loaf of bread, just holding it everywhere. I love it. But I'll tell you this. I actually full on disagree with this pick, Jiselle. Now, I'll say this. I could be doing you a favor right now because I know you've been struggling a little bit recently. But the last time I doubted one of your picks, it hit. So I'm going to do you the favor this week. I'm going to doubt your pick again because for me, this has all the vibes of one of those crazy-ass Sunday afternoon games where it's 3 o'clock at AT&T Stadium and we got the 5 o'clock sun starting to creep in through the windows and just crazy play after crazy play happens. And the last time, actually, each of the last 2 times that these teams met, it was an absolute bonkers game. It just was drunk the whole time. Jaden Daniels, Dak Prescott, I see a duel coming. I think this is going to be a fun game.
Oh, yeah.
Game of the week potential for sure.
100%. Yeah, Cowboys are playing at home. That's always going to be fun. They always have to try to show out as best as they can, and they typically win at home more times than not. Again, margin of error, really leaning between 27 to 24, even 27 to 27, or even
no, we don't want that.
We don't want
Yeah, you might get your tie, actually. That would work. That would piss off so many over bettors. Like, I couldn't imagine going to OT, and you're like, oh, yeah, over's going to hit, and then you tie 27-27. You get the under by the half.
Right. So, I don't know. Only time will tell, but I'm going to go for it because It's not guaranteed CD Lamb's going to come back. I think he is. I have a feeling he is, but that's also not guaranteed. But that doesn't worry me too much because George Pickens has been going off. We just discussed that. But the thing that does concern me is I feel that the Commanders have lost a bit of momentum and they don't really do so well when it comes to scoreboard shootouts. So I'm going to bank on that too.
All righty. Well, that is Big Pick Energy for week 7. We are officially 1/3 of the season through. So we are beginning the second third of the season this week. So y'all let us know in the comments whose picks you like. Are we on crack? And until next week, y'all take it easy.
I am on crack.